Are you ready to install this 4-hour timer with me? Let's do it. Okay, this is always about safety first. I want to be safe rather than be sorry. And I hope you do too. Here's one more tip for you. Where your electrical sub panel is, you've got that breaker off. I want you to mark that. I want you to put some masking tape or something around it now that it's shut off, okay? Take that off and then right over the top of it, off, OFF, with a black felt tip pen or something like that. Because you may think, I know it's off, I'm not going to do anything, but you may be working in here and somebody might go behind you and notice that it's off, and they might just turn it on, not even thinking about it at all. I've heard that happening before, okay? I don't want that happening to you. Always safety, remember? Just going to get this up out of my way somehow. This is going to be kind of tricky because see how close this plug is to the wall? Man, I'm right up here, so I'm going to reposition the camera, and I hope you can get all this because it's going to be kind of tricky. I wish this plug was out further, but it's not. So let's get her done. First thing we got to do is just take this cover plate off. Okay, go ahead and take the other screw off for me. At this point I got that cover plate unscrewed, but it's not coming off, so I just want to kind of hit around it. And the paint was probably still wet when they put this on. That's what happens sometimes. I want to be careful with this as best I can. Oh, jeez. I'm going to have to score this other side or something. Well, maybe I can get it with my fingernail. Just going to score it with my fingernail a little bit over here. Last thing I want to do is rip this off. Okay? Yeah, see, it was all stuck on the back side. Had I grabbed this and just jerked it off, it could have ripped the sheetrock painted paper right off, and now I'd have to patch that. That's the first little boo-boo you don't want to do. This plug is attached with those 2 screws. Go ahead and undo those screws now. And I'm just using a regular screwdriver for this. I could use a battery operated drill. I like to get in the habit of doing it this way. Doesn't take long. Okay, go ahead and take that one out for me. Now sometimes these screws have a little washer attached on the back side, and if so, they won't just pull out. So you can leave them kind of attached on there like that, see? Okay, let's just pull that kind of out of the wall. Like that. So far, so good. Now see, like I was saying before, we don't really have too many wires to deal with because there's only one set of wires coming in here because this is a complete circuit. It's a dedicated circuit, which means the breaker is only for this one plug and that's it. That's why there's only one set of wires coming up here, a black wire, a white wire, and a ground wire, which is the copper wire. Those are all coming in a sheathing, a sheathed wire cable, so to speak. Okay, and that's it. All right, what are we going to do now? I've turned this to the side like that, and I'm simply going to unscrew this, but before I unscrew it, I'm going to look at this really close. Okay, the black wire is coming over to this screw, and this screw is a gold screw. You may not think anything of that, but check it out. Here's the white wire, and that's under a silver screw. The ground wire is under a green screw. So the green screw is always for ground. The silver screw is always for the neutral wire, which is the white wire. So white and silver go together. And the gold screw is for the black wire. When you look on this over here, the black is on the right-hand side, the white is on the left-hand side. So if you look at this, I don't know if you've ever noticed this before. See how long this side is? This side's longer than this side, right? The ground is always at the bottom, or generally always at the bottom. And this left side, which is the long side, is the neutral side. You look on the side, sure enough, the white wire and the silver screw is on the left-hand side, so we know that's the neutral side. And the black side, which is the power side, is the shorter one, and that's with the gold screw, okay? Hope you followed that. If you want to look at that little video section again, go back and listen to it one more time so it makes sense to you. Because once we take this out, we're going to have to rewire this, and we want to make sure that we rewire this in the correct way, right? Before I take this out, let's talk a little bit more about these wires. Okay, I said these wires are coming into this box from the circuit breaker. Okay, so this is the power. Well, when we put our timer in, we've got to have these power wires hooked up in such a fashion so that the timer is hooked up first. So these wires somehow have to get to the timer location first, then the power from the timer has to come back over to here. So we've got to rewire this a different way, okay? But ultimately, when we hook this plug back up, it's going to be just like how it is now. The black side over to this side, and the white side over to the left-hand side with the silver screw. It's going to be hooked up just like that, okay? Okay, so just go ahead and unscrew this. And this black wire is rolled over and crimped down tight. Well, I can cut that off and rework that, or you have to get a little screwdriver in there and bend that, but I don't have to save the curlicue at the end. I can make a new one. So right here, I'm going to take a pair of dikes. These are electrical wire cutters. I guess dikes are a little different, but these have kind of a point to it like that. Okay, so I can get right up in there and cut that off. And in fact, I can go ahead and do that. I'll turn this around this way, like that. And I can go ahead and do that right here. I got plenty of wire to work with. Okay. Now I can come down and undo these screws and pull these little ends off of there. Because see, there's enough wire in there. Not a whole lot of extra wire, is there? There's enough to do what I need to do, okay?